Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Sporting Index Grand National Meeting preview from Aintree with Barry Geraghty. Hello Barry, how are you today? Great day's racing, day 1. Very much looking forward to day 2.
Morning, Chief. Yeah, no, really looking forward to it too. Brilliant day's action yesterday and lots to look forward to today.
Very much so. Today is Liverpool Day, and it's a day I've always attended, and I have to say, if you like your horse racing, if you like your fun, this is a day that I encourage all racegoers to go to. You don't even have to have a drink or whatever, just observe from afar. They're a very friendly lot in Liverpool. And today people dress up like weddings, there's fake tan flowing, the booze is flowing. There are some incredible sights, it really is. Everyone's having fun. And it's really, you know, what it's all about. I'd say a lot of people going today aren't racing people, but that doesn't matter. The whole of Liverpool's there. A lot of the Northwest is there having fun, and it must be great as a jockey to have that atmosphere when you're riding.
It is. No, it's a brilliant party atmosphere. Friday especially, and as you say, the fashion and the flesh on show. It's there's a great buzz and atmosphere.
Brilliant. Right, let's go straight into the racing. I will start with what is always a very, very tricky race. It's the Grade 3 PERTEMPS Network Handicap Hurdle. Stats here are not good for the favourites. No winning favourites since 2022. Sorry, 2000. I'm way ahead of myself. 2002. Let's have a look here, Barry. Anything you like in particular here? Please don't say the favourite.
Yeah, no, well, I've gone with Edwardstone. Is not far off favourite. He's only beaten 3 lengths in the county hurdle. I thought that was a good run. He has a lot of weight, but it's a great run and a good handicap. The other I like down the bottom is Amarillo Sky. Robbie Power, Tizards, hacked up in a handicap in Exeter on only her 4th start. So he's gone up £13 from that, but potentially could be really well in here. And just maybe a dark one down at the bottom, Amarillo Sky.
Yeah, so we are 6-1 Wild About Oscar, 15-2 Solwara 1, Edwardstone 8-1 Barry's Main Fancy, Toronado 17-2. There's been a few nibbles on that. Monte Cristo 9-1, Amarillo Sky 9-1, Mr. Coffee 10-1. You get the picture. It's a very, very tricky start to the day, but it is a Grade 3 and it's very competitive. We'll move on swiftly to the Betway Top Novices Hurdle, Grade 1. That's the 220. And here we are betting as follows. Dusart for Nicky and Nico de Boinville is 9-4. Third time lucky 7-2. Any News 5-1. Ajero 11-2. Belfast Banter 8-1 and 10-1 Bar. Let you talk about this.
Yeah, well, Dusart is highly thought of. He beat Soaring Dory in Newbury early in the season. Then he picked up an injury at home and missed the festival. But he looked so impressive in Newbury. He's highly thought of and would have been a big player in the Supreme had he have made the festival. So for me, I think Dusart, he's a big reputation, but it's coming from the right people, and he has that one big performance to his name. So to me, I think Dusart, he'd be hard to beat. Third time lucky, who ran well at the festival. He was only caught late on in the county, beating 3 1/4 lengths. He brings a good level of form. But for me, Dusart is the horse for today and the horse going forward.
I have to say, I agree with you. Lack of a recent run would concern me, but I mean, last run was just so classy. So I have to say, this was when I was speaking to my friends yesterday, my banker of the meeting. But that's my opinion, not Sporty Indexes, of course. Let's move on to the 250, the Betway MILDMAY Novices Chase. Again, Grade 1, and this has got a festival winner in Chantry House at the top of the market. We'll never know what would have happened had Envoy Allen had stayed on its feet. But anyway, Chantry House is 6-4. Espoir de Rome 5-1, Chanbleu 11-2, Fiddler on the Roof 6-1, the Big Breakaway 7-1.
Well, if you're looking for bankers, Chief, I think this is one. Chantry House. Vibes are very good from the yard after the festival. He was a good winner. He's going to enjoy the step up and trip. If anything, I think he'd be better for the run in Cheltenham. He showed good improvement from Weatherby to Cheltenham, and I think there's more to come from him. He was third in the Supreme last year to Shishkin and Abracadabra, so he's a very high level of form in the book, and to me, he's going to be hard to beat. I thought Shan Blue had a very tough race at the festival, and I think will do well to bounce back from that. And Fiddler on the Roof, he's a habit of filling the runner-up spot, is probably next best.
Yeah, I mean, Colin Tizard's got a great record, as does Robbie in the race, so I'd agree with that hugely. Just in terms of when you say the vibes are good from the yard, are you still very much in touch with your old employer, Nicky?
Oh, I do. We speak regularly, and JP as well. So no, it's always good to be having a chat and bouncing a few ideas around. But no, they're a good men to work for. So no, we're always very much in touch.
Brilliant. That's good to hear. Right. So moving on to the 1525, which is the Marsh Chase, which is obviously registered as the Melling Chase. Another grade one, and here we are betting as follows. Politolog is our 11-4, well, joint favourite with Fakir Duda at 11-4. Master Tommy Tucker 11-2. Dashel Drasher is 11-2. Notebook 13-2. Nutswell 15-2. Great race.
It is a great race. It's competitive. I suppose it lacks a superstar, and Politolog, he probably has the strongest form in the book over the years, but I think at this stage he's vulnerable. Fakir Rees ran well at the festival. It was a tough race behind Allaho. You could take a view that Golden Tornado being so close to him in third place is questionable, but he had a lot of good horses pulled up and beaten behind him. So I think Fakir Rees is the one who's going to give Politolog most to do. But a horse of interest going up on trip for me is Notebook. I think he's been crying out for 2.5 plus. He's a point-to-point winner. He's been running over 2 last season and all the way through because he was a very keen going horse. But he's learned to settle now. And I think at the back of it, all he does is stay. So I think the step up and trip is going to see improvement from Notebook. Has some good form in the book. He had put the kettle on behind Shack and Proswara as well at Leopardson. So he's a good horse, and I think he could be involved at a nice price.
Excellent. And now moving on to the race over national fences, in the 405, the Randox Topham Handicap Chase, which is a grade 3. Obviously, Topham, one of the most competitive races of the year. And we bet 6-1 Live, Love, Laugh, 7-1 Visio Man, 10-1 Morning Vicar, 12-1 Senior Citizen, 12-1 Two for Gold. So yeah, I mean, take your pick. It's sort of 12-1 bar after that. Yeah,
it's obviously a very competitive race and a tricky race, but there's great vibes for Live, Love, Laugh. He jumps brilliantly. He ran at the Grand National 2 years ago, and he jumped really well, but just didn't get home. So I believe Ruby was keen for him to run in the Topham originally, thinking that was his trip. So he's got his way this year. He's on in years, but he has a lot of experience, has been running well lately too. So I think he's a worthy favourite, and he ticks a lot of boxes. If I was to have a ride in the race, it would have been on Modus. And I thought that was a good run in the Sefton last time on soft ground, having won in Aintree previously. So I think he's shown a good level of form. He's probably been kept for today. And I think he's a big player, Modus. One also I like is Senior Citizen, ran in the Sefton as well. He was fourth in Newbury a few weeks ago on his return, and he could be interested as well. But for me, Live, Love, Laugh's a good, solid favourite, and I think Modus is a good each-way alternative.
I wouldn't worry about the age. The older horses have got a good record in this race, I believe. So I'm not worried about Live, Love, Laugh's being an 11-year-old. Yeah, so we'll move on swiftly then to the Sefton, I believe, is it? There we go. The Doombar Sefton Novices Hurdle, the 440. And here we bet as follows. We have got Brave Man's Game, 15-8, Cape Gentleman, 6-1, Streets of Doyen, 8-1, Oscar Elite, 8-1, and then 10-1 Bar. Have you got any strong view here?
Well, Brave Man's Game is the one to beat, and I think he's a worthy favourite. But the horse of real interest has to be Cape Gentleman. He's 100 rated on the flat. He won the Irish Cesarewitch. He bolted up on the Irish Cesarewitch last autumn. He won his maiden in punch. Then he pulled up on very soft ground. and he won the Dovecot in Kempton on reasonably good ground. He stepped from 2 mile now to 3 mile, but he proved he stayed on the flat. So if he's going to get 3 mile, Aintree is the place for it to happen. But he's a high level of form. He looks to jump really well. And Emmett Mullins, you have to take note. So it's another maybe left out of field decision to go for here. But yeah, I think it's a big call stepping up to 3 mile, but with improvements there on the flat. So I think he's of real interest, but you have to respect the favourite. He brings a good level of form, and I think he'll enjoy the trip.
Very good. And then we finish with the only non-graded race, I believe, on the day, which is the PINSENT Masons Handicap Hurdle, which is for conditional jockeys and amateur riders. Again, this is one where I always, and I know loads of you also look out for jockeys here. And it's a very competitive betting heat, this, and normally something comes from the back. I remember backing a winner here for, I can't remember what it's called, but for John Joe, 50-1 has got me out of a complete mess. So here we go. Coppolis 4-1, Tomorrow Mystery 9-2, Campron 7-1, Leon Cavallo 10-1, the Widowmaker 10-1, and then sort of 12-1 bar.
Yeah, it's a tricky race, and obviously jockey bookings, play a big bearing here. But for me, Copperless looks really good. Very much unexposed, winning at a lower level and stepping into a handicap here for his first attempt in that company. So I think Copperless has a lot of potential. A lot of them have been around the block, and I don't think there's many unexposed horses, but this fella could be one. So I'd be very sweet on Copperless.
Brilliant. And Barry, just tell us about going to Aintree. Is the feeling of the meeting different to you to Cheltenham? Do you more relaxed? Is there more pressure, less pressure? Probably a lot of pressure for a Grand National until you win one, and you won one quite early on Monteith's Pass.
Yeah, it's all about the Grand National. So Thursday and Friday are nearly a warm-up for Saturday, where Cheltenham does an intensity about every day. There's a more relaxed, but everything about Aintree, Liverpool, the town, everything, the atmosphere. It's more of a party atmosphere, although we were partying a little bit in the early years, but not so much in the latter ones. But yeah, it's a good buzz, and it's probably a bit of a wind down after Cheltenham, and you can enjoy it a bit more. But there's some great racing. There's a lot at stake, but the Grand National is the big one, and it's everything is revving up towards tomorrow.
Well, brilliant. I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow about the National, and obviously lots of other good racing tomorrow too. But the National is the big one, and we'll give you a lovely preview for that tomorrow. Just before I go, for new clients, I've got to tell you, for spread betting, we will give you £50 promo cash. You keep what you win, and you can obviously lose more than we give you. With spread betting, losses can exceed your deposit. And with our fixed odds offering, if you have 5 times £5 minimum free bets, we'll give you a £25 fixed odds free bet. Please remember to bet responsibly, and that we are 18 plus. All that it leaves me to say is thank you very much, Barry, and good luck to everyone today. Cheers, Barry.